पता भयो मेरो
हजुर हेलो यस्तो हुन्छ भिजाको 1137 फर 1 वर्षको
स्कुलको इमेल लाग्छ स्कुलको इमेल म तिमीलाई एउटा स्याम्पलै पठाउँ मैले तिमीलाई स्याम्पल पनि पठाएको हो क्या हजुर हजुर म हेरिहाल्छु यो त तिमीले ऱ्यान्डमली तिमीले यो यतिको त तिमीले दुवै गर्नु पर्यो मै बनाइदिन्छु नि त्यसो भए त स्टार्ट भयो है
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Kitika. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm good as well. So let's begin the session.
Yep. Yep. Just give me a second. Um, I just want to know what do you intend on doing today with respect to me speaking with students?
Okay, we have offer holders, students, and some new students as well today with
All right.
us. So
Okay.
we are going to have a precast training and further consultation.
Lovely. Lovely. So how many are offer holders today?
There are 7 offer holders today, and rest of them are new students.
Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to know, with respect to offer holders, how many are holding offers with us who don't have an English condition, or your only conditions is okay. Your only condition is just doing the interview and paying the deposit, guys? Can I have the offer holders? Can I do a bit of an interaction with the offer holders before?
Sure.
Yeah. So can I have the offer holders just come and tell me what are they holding offers for and what are they currently doing? It would be lovely to hear from you guys.
Or we can do it last at the question and answer session. Would it be possible?
John, the entire intention of doing this was to speak with the students, especially
Okay.
offer holders. So I wanted to prioritize that.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, hi Sagar, how are you doing?
Yeah, I feel good. And you?
Sagar, I'm good. I'm good. You currently hold an offer for which program at the university?
Yeah, BSc Agriculture.
BSc Agriculture. And have you completed your credibility interview?
No, no yet, but
Okay.
in recent no, but I will continue my interview and
Okay. Is somebody else wanting to step in and just say hello? Or as John mentioned, we'll carry on with the session and at least give other students an insight of SRUC. Anybody else who's an offer holder? Hi. Sorry, I can't hear you. Whoever this is. John, can you hear them? No, right?
No, Gitika.
Okay, then I think what I'll do is I'll do a quick introduction session. If you wish, I can do a small presentation on SRUC.
Sure. Before that, I have a small video featuring Scotland Rural College.
Yep, sure, you can present
Okay.
that.
So I will do a formal introduction first, then after that I will hand over it to you.
Thank you. John, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's Bizz Presents Alpha Older online webinar, proudly presented in partnership with Scotland's Rural College. My name is John Subedi, and I'm marketing executive and a counselor here at Bizz Education. And my mission is simple: to help bright students just like you turn your dream of studying in the UK into a reality. And let me brief you about the webinar. This webinar is divided into 3 parts. The first part, I will be showing a short video about SRUC, and the second part will be a presentation by a STEAM guest from SRUC today, as you have already introduced, Gitika Mehta. Then we will move to the question and answer session. So most importantly, it is a space. So if you have got any questions, big or small, please drop them on the chat box and we're happy to help you. Okay, so let me begin with the video first. Please let me know it is audible or not, okay? I think it is.
It is. Hello everyone, this is Gitika Mehta. I'm the regional manager for SRUC, which is Scotland's University College, and I look at regions like India, Nepal, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. SRUC offers a number of programs in management, agriculture, environmental science, nature conservation and sustainability. We have scholarships up to £9,000. Isn't that exciting? To know more about it, please contact Bizz Education. Bizz Education, reach us to get there.
SIUC has been awarded the Queen's Anniversary Prize for its outstanding work on animal health and welfare conducted by our Vet Services team. This is the highest accolade that a UK university or college can receive as in part of the nomination system, and it represents a significant award for SIUC for its outstanding contribution to animal health and welfare. It reflects the work of perhaps some of our unsung heroes, our researchers and technicians and scientists who committed themselves to safeguarding animal health and welfare. This is the second time that SIUC has been awarded the Queen's Anniversary Prize. We awarded the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2017 for outstanding work on ruminant genetics and dairy cattle.
Okay. Was that truly amazing? Was it? So let's move to the second part. And let me talk about SRUC first. SRUC is one of the popular university in the Scotland, which provides a very popular courses, BSc and MSc Agriculture, Horticulture, and many other agriculture and animal science courses, as well as business courses like business consultancy. So we will know more from the Gitika about the university and other consultations as well. So I would also like to welcome all the students who are watching us live from our Facebook and YouTube channel as well. So welcome here. Now the moment we have been waiting for, let me introduce our uh, amazing guest from Scotland's Royal College. She is Gitika Mehta. She is a regional manager for South Asia. Hi, Gitika.
Hello.
Okay. So I hand over this session to you. Over to
Thank
you,
you.
Gitika.
Thank you. Guys, I would just quickly take 1 minute to share my screen so you guys can see. Everybody can see the screen?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So I'm Gitika. I work for SRUC, which is stands for Scotland's Rural College. I actually don't manage all of South Asia. Pakistan doesn't come under me, but the major chunk, yes, does. So India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. And for me, the two regions that are very close to my heart are India and Nepal. And I spend a lot of my time and energy into these two locations. I like being in Nepal. I'm an Indian, but I love being in Nepal. I've come to Nepal thrice now in Kathmandu, and I've had an excellent experience there. I think the students are quite motivated to go abroad. They now are in a position where they want to look at opportunities, yes, not only in Nepal, but outside of Nepal, especially from an educational perspective. And I think maybe for you guys, SRUC could be something that could possibly work. So, just very quickly, a bit of an idea on what we intend on covering. My clear focus will be to give you an idea about, why you can choose to study at SRUC in Scotland and some of the programs we offer and the fee structure and scholarship as well. This is Scotland. This actually is quite this kind of slide gives you an idea what Scotland looks like. It's despite everybody's thought that all of UK is very grey and it rains there very often, and that is partially true. It does end up raining very often. I think the Scottish the I would say all of UK has a lot of color to it, a lot of history and culture to it. um have got their own kind of food. There is more lot of their own traditions, different kinds of festivities and festivals. It's very, very multicultural. People from across the world are there in Scotland and in the UK. So this just gives you an idea of there is color, there's beauty when you are in Scotland, and especially if you're talking about natural beauty, that is very, very Scottish, because Scotland is very, very it's known for something called the Highlands, right, or the Scottish Highlands, and that's towards your right when you look at this. This is one famous train that passes through the Scottish Highlands. A lot of students who might be interested in hiking, they might enjoy Scotland way more than other parts of the UK. Scotland has its own traditions. When you look at a man with wearing something that looks like a skirt, this is called kilt, and that's the traditional costume that the men wear. They have their own traditional Scottish dance. They have their own. This is the bagpiper that they play. Uh, Towards your right, there is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival that takes place every August. It's a massive festival. People from across the world travel for this. This is to kind of introduce or talk about various forms of arts, whether it is in the form of performance arts or other kinds that are, celebrated throughout, you know, Edinburgh through the festival. Um, Long story short, I think Scotland has a lot to offer in addition to just, going there for education. But more than education, there is so much in terms of deep history, deep culture, traditions that, Scotland offers. Also, it's again, number one, it's a part of the UK. But Scotland in itself is very accessible. The two major cities, like the largest cities, are Glasgow and Edinburgh. All right. And they both have strong international, connections. So moving in from any part of the world and going into Scotland is quite easy. Even if you are in India or in Nepal, most likely you will fly into, one of the Middle East countries and then take a connecting flight to Scotland. Or you fly into one of the European countries and you fly into Scotland. So you don't have to go to London and then go to Scotland. You can directly fly into Edinburgh or Glasgow, because these are two big, big cities in Scotland and they have got their own international airports, and it's very accessible. Again, you could be in any part of the world, and if you're on the extreme end of the US, it takes about 14 hours. And likewise, if you're in the extreme end of Asia, it takes about 14 hours to reach Scotland, right? And likewise, if you are somewhere in India, Nepal, I would say again 11 hours is what you look at. You take a bit of a stop in one of the Middle East. That's the traditional route that I've taken from India. I fly into Qatar, and from Qatar, I go to Edinburgh. But we've got international airports, and Scotland is an accessible part of the UK, quite accessible. I talked a bit briefly about what Scotland has to offer, but interestingly, a lot of people, when they think of the education system, one of the oldest education system happens to be Scottish education system. Rather, when we look at the US liberal arts system, the entire liberal arts system was a copy of the Scottish bachelor's degrees, right? So they have a very, very long history of welcoming international students because their education system is world renowned and it has existed for years, not years, centuries, right? And that is why other nations have also replicated that. So when you look at the Scottish education system, that is one of the oldest, and that has obviously been, US has adopted their entire liberal arts studying from Scotland. Another thing that you would know of in the UK in general is that research is a very strong component. When we look at some universities in Nepal or in India as well, they are all good institutions, but research is not a very, very strong aspect, because usually for research you need a lot of funding, right? And while some institutions, and I can talk from an India perspective, that there is high quality research, not a lot of universities and colleges will offer that, right? But in the UK, just by the standard of it, every university focuses on some kind of research that they're excellent at. There is a group of universities called Russell Group that focus on, they do extensive research in different aspects, and they have to contribute certain amount of time, energy and resources into the research. But in addition to the Russell Group, there is a bigger chunk of universities in the UK that focus on some kind of research. From an SRUC perspective, the research that we do in agriculture, the research that we do in sustainability, the research that we do in management, the research that we do in food security, this is something that we're absolutely excellent at. We are world renowned for that. So luckily with the UK, every institution will have a strong research department. It might not be that they will do research on every aspect, or they will do research on every aspect, but some of their research will be world renowned. From an SRUC perspective as well, some of the research we especially do is very, very world recognized. So that's one aspect. Once you complete your degree from the UK, you have an education that is universal, that is recognized by most parts of the world, if not everybody. And that clearly means that you can look out for opportunities not only in Nepal, but outside of Nepal, right? So many of my Indian students they end up studying in the UK because they understand the value of a UK degree, and they know that when they come back to India, and or they want to move into the Middle East, they want to work in Dubai or they want to work in Qatar, these degrees are so well recognized, they get paid well. So UK degree has that kind of strength that you can look for opportunities, especially once you graduate, that you across the world. The degree structure in Scotland, especially at a bachelor's level, is very, very flexible. You experiment with different structures, sorry, different subjects, and then you kind of find your niche and what you intend on studying. The GIR route is very much still there. I know a lot of information is floating around. It is also floating around in India, but we always want to go back and assure students that please don't listen to everything that is coming to you. Please understand that the GIR route is still very much is still very much there. All the students who are going to the UK can avail it. Okay. It's a great location. I personally think it's beautiful. As you kind of move across different parts of the UK, there's something or the other way which is beautiful. There's history, there's culture to it. So a lot of palaces, museums, natural beauty around you. And finally, I think the NHS health benefits apply to students as well. When you will be going to the UK and applying for your visa, you will be paying a certain, health surcharge, which helps you take the benefits of the NHS. Then it becomes completely the support is very much there for any student, international student, as it would be for a British citizen. So that's just some information for you to consider to understand what UK has to offer, what specifically Scotland has to offer. Now, few things that are not there on the slide, but I want to talk from a Scotland perspective is number one with respect to part-time, number one with respect to the cities, um, especially the cities that some of our campuses are on. Okay, so number one is that Scotland truly, truly has a unique problem, guys. And that unique problem is that they need people to come and work. Unlike other big cities in the UK, I will, for the nature of my job, I have to know a bit about some of the big cities. When you look at a London or Manchester or Leeds, they happen to become so overcrowded sometimes that and because every student is there. Number one, sometimes part-time, the competition for one job is not 10 people, it is maybe 100 people, right? And likewise, safety sometimes can be compromised, right? So with respect to that aspect, part-time is massive in Scotland. If you look, I have not seen students struggle with part-time in Scotland, because in the big cities, even in the smaller areas, students have been able to find good opportunities with a good average salary per hour in Scotland. Scotland genuinely wants people to come and work. Rather, we talk about the immigration route. Initially, when the immigration route was introduced years back, it was only done because Scotland needed people, and they needed more fresh people to come in and support them with work. So Scottish people still need that, and that is something that you should be aware of. Second thing is major cities. We have two very, very big cities in Scotland. One is Glasgow, that happens to be the largest city, and then the second largest is Edinburgh. The advantage of Edinburgh is that it is the capital of Scotland. Okay. So a lot of Fortune 500 companies will be there. Okay. It's got a major financial banking sector. It's got a major retail sector. It's got a major sector in the area of tourism and hospitality. So when you look at those aspects, students are very easily again able to fetch opportunities, and it's a big city. It's not a small city. The two most upcoming cities in all of UK both happen to be in Scotland, that is Edinburgh and Glasgow. So part-time is not compromise. These are still big cities, so you get to experience all the good things of a big city, whether with it's respect to shopping, whether it's with respect to, fun, or it's respect to part-time, whatever, right? But safety is not being compromised as a student, right? And opportunities are also not being compromised. So those are two things I really want to stress on with Scotland, that they have themselves got big cities. These are the most upcoming cities in the UK. And just see that with respect to all the advantage that you get in Edinburgh, you are not, at the same time, you're still not being in a position where safety is being a concern. So I hope that was some information that could give you an idea of why one can look to study specifically in the UK and Scotland. A bit about SRUC. SRUC actually happens to have a very unique structure in the UK. And I wouldn't say UK, I would say in not Europe, but probably in vastly in the world. Okay. And the reason behind that is because when you look at any university in general, whether we look at, let's say, Tribhuvan University in Nepal, or we look at, Delhi University in India, or we look at Abertay in Scotland, every university will have something called teaching and learning department, right? Where there are different campuses, different programs are being taught, right? The second aspect of the university will be research. And there might be some kind of research that the university will be doing. Could be specializing in nursing, specializing in management, something in sustainability, whatever, right? But that's a usual setup. That is essentially a setup of a university. that there is teaching and learning department and there's a massive research department. All the other things, whether with respect to career services, student services, things like that, they all fall under the purview of teaching and learning, right? But that's essentially two departments, teaching and learning and research. That's a general setup of any UK university, Nepalese university, Indian university. What we have, in addition to teaching and learning and the research farms and veterinary sciences clinics and research centers, because that all falls in under the research aspect of the university, is a massive consulting office which is called SAC Consulting or SAC Consulting. Okay, we actually happen to be the largest business consulting firm in Scotland and the second largest business consulting firm in UK. So we do a lot of consulting work with big clients like Johnny Walker Whiskey, with Tesco, with Waitrose, with Marks and Spencer Food. Or the British government or the Scottish government. Why I'm telling you that is because these three pillars are always interacting. The pillar of teaching campuses, the pillar of research, and the pillar of consulting. Tomorrow, the research that we really do, as I said, our research, especially in the area of food, agriculture, veterinary sciences, sustainability, is world renowned. That helps us in the way we teach our programs. It also helps us in the way we do consulting work for our clients. We service about 18,000 clients a year. They range from big businesses to medium size and small size businesses as well. We have different kinds of consulting services that we do. So the research we do ends up helping us in teaching and also in the way we do run our business. Likewise, our students get involved in research, our students also get involved in consulting. How do they get involved in consulting? Let's say a small company is looking for a part-timer to do some kind of consulting, to support them with some kind of research or some kind of work. If you are a good student, for us to recommend you into that part-time in some other kind of job opportunity is very easy. Because please understand, big companies like Tesco, big companies like Waitrose, yes, they have the budget to, you know, market that they need to hire 5 people. A small company which is looking to hire one person, they will not go everywhere. They go to people that they trust, and one of them is us. So for us to recommend you into opportunities, provided you're a good student, provided you take initiative, is quite easy. We can recommend you into jobs. So that's one thing I just wanted to let you know, that we stand on a very interesting setup or three pillars. The teaching and learning department, where we teach all kinds of programs, from diplomas, bachelors, all the way up to PhDs, right? Through different campuses that we have. Now you see a lot of campuses on your screen. The focus for all our students is Aberdeen and Edinburgh campus. Okay. There are different advantages of going to the Edinburgh campus and different advantages of going to the Aberdeen campus. Having said so, these are the few campuses we have. And the second aspect is we do hardcore research in different food, veterinary sciences programs, and that is done through research centers and research firms. And I've already talked a bit about the consulting office. I hope that was clear. Rankings is something that every student is obsessed with at this point. So this is just some information about some of the rankings. One thing I would really like to point out, our research rankings in all of the UK is number one. Our ref rankings, they are done every 10 years. So every decade, they do a research ranking. Our ref rankings were number one. In the area of agriculture, food, veterinary sciences, we were ranked number one in the UK for the kind of work that we have done. So we're absolutely smashing it in research. Second aspect is we were ranked fifth in animal sciences and agriculture subjects by the Guardian in 2025. We were ranked number one young university in Scotland in 22 and 23. And I think currently we're ranked number three in Scotland as a young university. Sustainability, we're very focused on sustainability as well. So clearly ranked first in the UK for anything to do with sustainability and eighth in the world. So these are some information that, or some rankings that you can look at. I think I've already talked about SRUC. I've talked why one can consider it. But number one, I've talked about ranking. Second could be location. We have got, as I said, a couple of campuses across Scotland. Our focus for international students is Edinburgh and Aberdeen, and there's a reason. The reason for choosing these two locations is because a student will thrive in a city like this. These cities are big, but they don't also become places where a student will feel lost, right? These cities have opportunity. These cities have a lot to do for your student experience, and these cities can help you with part time. So that is why we chose these two locations. The only advantage I always tell to a student is of going to Edinburgh is that Edinburgh is a big city. It's a good big city. It's again excellent for employment, and Edinburgh is where is the our Edinburgh campus is actually shared with the University of Edinburgh. So the advantage of that is that a lot of these basic facilities of gym, pool, library, restaurants, everything is shared with University of Edinburgh. All those common things that you can share with University of Edinburgh, and this is also a flagship campus. It's the largest campus that SRUC has. We have about 3,000 students, another 150 coming in from some of the regions I work for and my colleagues work for internationally. Um, but it's going to be quite diverse. And that's what Edinburgh is about. So Edinburgh will be, I would say student is more advantaged if they go to Edinburgh because the location is excellent. And we're opening our business school there. So that's one thing. With Aberdeen, Aberdeen has a reputation of being the energy capital of Europe. They used to be a big oil and gas hub. So still oil and gas companies are very much located in Aberdeen, but it's kind of moving into from that specific industrial setup of oil and gas to more around energy, more around sustainability. And that's why there are opportunities in oil and gas industry and the energy sector. That's why a lot of sustainable engineers also end up working there. Also, Aberdeen is by the port. So where one is marked, that's Aberdeen. It's by the port, big area in supply chain, right? So a lot of opportunities in that area as well. It's quite affordable to be in Aberdeen. Aberdeen was ranked number one in the UK for affordability. And again, part time is excellent. I would say part time in Edinburgh and Aberdeen is both great. So if you're somebody who's fussed about, I would say part time, but you want to be in a bigger city, my advice would be to be in Edinburgh because a lot of students would enjoy being in Edinburgh versus Aberdeen. We've got a pretty affordable tuition structure and some scholarships that we offer to you as students. And I've already talked about different kinds of way we support our students in their career. One is of course through the career services that the university offers, whether it is with CV advising or interview advising or helping you build a particular skill, searching for jobs, all of that. And second is SAC consulting, the consulting arm of the university, where we sometimes our clients are looking for hiring some people and we recommend our students into different kinds of opportunities. We ourselves have SAC Consulting has about not 24 now 25 offices in Scotland and Northern England. We have about 300 plus staff, and sometimes their positions opened within SAC Consulting as well. All right. This just gives you an idea of the Aberdeen campus and what it has to offer. It's looks like a grandma's house from outside. It has been renovated a bit, but inside is one of the most high-tech labs in all of UK because this is where we run our clinical skills and services. So clearly, this has to be the most high-tech in all of the UK. We have, the Aberdeen campus has about 1,000 students and probably grow into some numbers more, but that's our Aberdeen campus. This is the Edinburgh campus. As I said, we share it with the King's building, which is for of the University of Edinburgh. So we share it with the University of Edinburgh. We have a big research center attached to it. It's this is the bigger campus. We have put a lot of money in renovating this. So Edinburgh is the big campus to go to. As I said, we've got more students here. The city is bigger. So again, the experience of the city is great as well. We've got accommodation in Aberdeen. We've got different kinds of accommodation in Aberdeen. And we have an agreement with the University of Aberdeen that our students can stay in their Hillhead halls. With respect to Edinburgh, we actually don't have our own accommodation. We can recommend where students can look out for a flat or rent out an apartment, or look at some other vendors that offer accommodation, but we do not have our own accommodation in Edinburgh. So that's just some information. With respect to with respect to the programs now. So the most important thing is the four programs that you see on your screen. These are the four programs we have. We have a business consultancy, project management, international business, and international food and agriculture business as the four management-based programs that we're offering at SRUC. The entry requirements are very clear. We take 60% and above. We do not accept students with a 3-year bachelor's. We only take students with a 4-year bachelor's. However, if you come from Kathmandu University, Pokhara University, Tribhuvan University, or Purvanchal, we can accept a 3-year bachelor's as well, provided again you meet the 60% score. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to let you know. At a bachelor's level, we actually offer a range of bachelors, but what we are looking to promote in some of the markets is the BA in Rural Business Management and the BSc in Agriculture. These are the two programs we're looking to, provide. We're looking to promote. We have other programs like environmental management, etc. as well, or horticulture. But they happen to be, for instance, horticulture happens to be a very, very intense program, and students can barely work part-time. So in those cases, we don't really go on and promote them. So these are the two that we're looking to promote in the Nepalese market and the India market as well. For an undergraduate program, we've got, if you're coming into our first year, for these two programs, we require 65% and above, or a grade B or B plus. So what we offer with agriculture, BSc Agriculture and Rural Business Management is, if you have done a 3-year diploma after your 10th, and the diploma is in agriculture, specifically only in agriculture, we can offer you a second year entry. So you directly go into the second year, and you can, all we require is a 60% and above. All our students from Nepal, it is mandatory that you write an IELTS or a TOEFL or a PT or an Oxford ELLT. I think currently some students are facing an issue with the Oxford ELLT results. I've tried to flag it up with colleagues and trying to see what's happening, if we can help students in some way. But currently, we will take an IELTS PT or a TOEFL. So I would say advise you to look at that. Um, and that's just some information about the programs.
Excuse me, ma'am, can I ask a question in programs? About question?
We will wait for you. We'll wait for, this is the last slide, and after this slide, I will take your question. Is it
Okay,
okay? Perfect. Now, with respect to all the masters that you saw, so we've got 4 masters. The masters are all priced at £19,000, and all our undergraduate programs are priced at £16,000. Scholarship, these 3 scholarships that you see are for masters. So if you've got some kind of experience, can I ask everybody to mute themselves? Thank you. So £3,000 scholarship is available for anybody who has some kind of community engagement or some kind of community experience. Worked with an NGO, you can write 2-3 lines on that. We'll give you the £3,000 scholarship. My focus is that my students either get the 6 or the £9,000 scholarship for the master's degree. So 6,000 is available for students who have second division or second class honors degree plus 2 years of work experience. 9,000 is available for any mark sheet, or when we look at the degree certificate of the student, it says first class honors or first division. The moment we put the first class honors or first division, we offer them the £9,000 scholarship. Currently, most of my students are falling into the £9,000 scholarship area as well. So they are receiving the £9,000 scholarship if their mark sheet in their bachelor's ends up saying that they have a first division. There is a full fee payment discount that will apply to every Nepalese student, because all the students will have to pay in full. So most of my students are either paying £9,500 or £12,500. So that is just some information about SRUC. Now, I'm happy to take questions of all of you.
Okay, thank you, Gitika. Your session was incredibly informative, and I feel like every important aspect were thoroughly covered, and I truly appreciate the clarity and depth you brought to the discussion. So we will move to the question and answer session. Before that, I have collected some of the questions for quick questions. So may I go?
Yes,
Let me
yes.
share. Okay. I think it is visible.
It just says John has started. Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah. Okay, the first question is please drop your answers on the chat box and we will see that. Okay. What is the address of main campus of SRUC? You have 15 seconds to answer this question. Okay, the time's up. Let me see the correct answer. The correct answer is Cribstone, Aberdeen. Okay, yeah, it was on the presentation before. So the next question is, what is the UG course tuition fee of SRUC? 1600, 16,000 pounds, 18,000 pounds, 19,000 pounds, and 20,000 pounds. Yep, the right answer for this is 16,000 pounds. Third question, what is the maximum scholarship provided by SRUC? Time's up. So it is up to 9,000 pounds. And next question, what is the nearest train station to the SRUC? I think this question is new for you. Drop your answer on the chat box. Time's up. Answer is Dice Station. And the last question is, what is the full fee payment discount in SRUC? Okay. The answer is displayed. It is 500 pounds. Okay, that is all. Thank you so much for this quick session. Let me stop sharing my screen. Now we are open to the question and answer session. If you have got any questions, please drop them on the chat box. I think Amrit have a question. Please drop your question on the chat box. Okay, Geetika, there is no any questions. So we will move to PCI training session. Do we?
Yeah, Amrit is like, he wants to know about top-up program. Amrit, I told you we have two top-up programs, which is the agriculture program, which is BSc Agriculture and BA in Rural Business Management. The only thing is that it is available as a top-up for students who have a diploma in agriculture. If you do not have the 3-year diploma in agriculture, okay, you do have it. So then you can either apply for the BSc in agriculture or rural business management. If you look at the structure of agriculture, every year you're being trained into being a person who knows everything about agriculture. It's required to, it will be very science oriented. Your first year is almost going to look like you being on a farm and understanding everything with respect to how to using a tractor and other equipments of an for running that agricultural piece of land. Second year will be more around the science aspect. What is the soil going to look like for a good harvest? Or understanding the impact of the quality of rain in the region, making an also crop production, things like that. So you study a lot about those things in your second year. Third year, you understand how an agriculture business works. So there are different kinds of I would say aspects of agriculture that you study throughout your BSc agriculture. Your fourth year is very research focused. And rural business management will essentially be studying different kinds of business management modules, but at the same time also understanding that from a rural economy perspective. So you can also specialize in rural business management. You can do an RBM with a specialization in agriculture. You can do rural business management with a specialization in tourism, or you could do it in land management. So there are different kinds. Then we will second. No, we will not give any direct entry into third year. Abiral, the reason is because the way we teach the programs is very, very intense. And based on the diploma that you have done after your grade 10th, the level of education you have received will not be sufficient enough for you to move into a third year entry. So it will be second year entry only.
Okay. So I have completed my 3 years diploma. What type of research project I can get involved in during my studies?
I will not be the right person to respond to that, Sagar, with respect to what research you will do. It also depends on the program you choose at SRUC, whether and what kind of research you are keen on doing. A lot of times, when you get involved and at a bachelor's level, research is done in your fourth year. So you move into your second year after your 3 year diploma in agriculture. You go into your second and third year really building the right skills in different areas of, if you choose agriculture, then agriculture, or in areas of business management. And in your fourth year, you end up picking your own research project. Your research project is linked to what you are going to study. So I wouldn't be the right person. The right person will be you when you go there and study, Sagar. But it will be around what program you end up majoring, not even majoring, what program you end up studying. With respect to application, I want to be absolutely very clear. If you plan on coming for Amrit, your first year will be second year entry only. So that's your first year. You have to pay for 16, if you have got, it's priced at 16,000 pounds undergraduate program, and we have a 3,000 and a 6,000 pound scholarship. The 3,000 pound scholarship is available for anybody who has a 65% and above, and 6,000 is available for 70% and above.
Okay. I have done diploma in agriculture with a major in animal science. I'm going for BSc honors in agriculture, and I heard that my BSc will be of 2 years with direct entry at 3 years. Is it right
No,
or
how
wrong?
did you
What?
hear that, Abiral? That's wrong information. Who told that to you? It will be you go into your second year and you study in your second year and you can study into your third year. You can choose to exit after your third year. The only thing is that it will be a BSc agriculture, it will not be an honors degree. You
Okay.
don't get into third year entry. You don't get a third year entry. That's something I want to be absolutely clear with.
So after finishing the 3 years diploma in Nepal, I have to study 2 years more to finish my bachelor's.
No, 3 years more to do your bachelor's if you're looking to do an honors program. If you wish to do just a regular degree with no honors, then 2 years more. So after you go, you get into your second year, you study for your second year and you study for your third year. After your third year, if you wish to exit, you can do that. But I'll be very honest, many students should continue into their fourth year as well. Because if only once you have the honors, you can progress into doing the masters immediately. You're better valued in terms of job opportunities. So I would advise to do the honors.
I have already got a master's in business studies, got 60% first division on 2013, and have more than 10 years job experience.
If you've already
I'm
done a business degree, I don't think you will be eligible for applying for another business program, Rashmila. If you want to try, you can still try, but you need to have a reason for pursuing a very similar program into doing at SRUC.
Geetika, I have a questions from a student.
Hmm.
What are the major things I need to be careful while sitting for PCI?
Sorry?
What are the major things I need to
Yeah.
be careful while sitting for PCAS interview?
So we have an interview that we do. So this is more for students who are currently holding offers with me,
Yeah.
not with me, with SRUC. And few things to keep in mind is number one, please don't hesitate. Okay. First, prepare properly and only then give the interview. Okay. Second thing is read the question, then respond. Sometimes students are too quick. Without reading, they go into reading the question. Without reading it, they go into answering for the question. Don't do that. Last thing, please don't cheat in any form. If you end up looking and reading, the system will pick it up. It's properly AI generated. We have picked up a system where we can understand that the student is reading, and we don't pass that student. If you use some other means to clear the interview, again, that is something that the system will pick up and the student will still fail the interview. So my advice is prepare and then do your interview rather than just give it because you only get two chances for your interview. Okay, you don't get more than two chances. Another thing is if you are an offer holder right now, your priority should be to give the interview and do payment. Why? Because we're sitting in towards the end of June. You don't have much time. You need to start preparing and applying for your CAS by 15th of July. Most of the students will have to share their documents for their CAS. So technically, if you are already holding an offer from SRUC, you don't have any conditions, which is you only have the condition of payment and interview. Please do those two things. Spend the next 3-4 days preparing. After you've completely prepared, give your interview, get your result out, and then do your payment. So that by this first week of July, you have already done your payment. You don't have much time. SRUC will close its gates if you are not acting fast. And I'm being very honest, right? Urmila, I'll address your question later because right now I'm trying to do some precast training now. So, post-study work permit is available for every student, whether they do a bachelor's or they do a master's, they can only use it once. So that's something that is very clear. Okay. Now coming back to the precast training, I would advise you to look at some. Can I have those students who already have offers with us and looking to do the interview? Please, guys. I want to be able to meet and talk to you. Who are these students? Can the offer holders just say hello, give me their names?
Hello.
Sagar holds an offer, yes. Sagar, you have an
Yeah.
offer with?
Yeah, I got offer letter from SREC.
For rural business management or agriculture?
No, agriculture, on agriculture.
CSE agriculture. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sagar, do you have any English condition to meet? Or you've met your English
Uh, yeah, I am planning to give a test of Oxford ELLT test
Don't
as
give
soon as
Oxford
possible.
ELLT because many of your friends who have given the Oxford ELLT are still waiting a result. I would say please either consider PT or IELTS. Consider one of them. That would be my advice.
Okay.
Yeah, I would also
Okay
say,
then.
well, anyway, sitting on 24th, you should have already given your English language test because we don't have much of time with respect to students clearing interviews and paying. So I would advise you look into doing that very quickly, Sagar.
Okay.
Anybody else who's there?
It's me, Aviral Faisal. I have got my conditional offer letter and preparing for my ALLD test.
Okay. Abhinal, you're still preparing. Even you have not given your both you and Sagar have not given it yet.
Yes, we haven't given our test, but we are preparing for it.
Okay. And by when do you think you're planning to give this?
Within a week.
Within a week. Okay. My only worry is, will you get your results in time with respect to English?
I have to,
That's my only worry. But I would advise you to go on and at least clear your interview. I would really recommend you to do that. Okay. With
okay.
respect to your interview, few things, as I said, please don't cheat. Please don't look into something and read. The second thing is, please give it as early as possible. Last thing that I would also advise is some of the questions you need to prepare on. Okay, so please note that it's not going to be direct questions. Why do you want to do this course? Why do you want to study at this university? Why do you want to go to the UK or Scotland? These questions are going to be slightly different. They can be, give me three reasons for you to choose, give me three reasons for you to study in the UK. Okay, or they could ask you, what can you tell about the British weather? Now, if you give one line response, then you're not going to clear that interview. You have to explain everything. Okay, so tomorrow, if you give, okay, the British weather is a bit unpredictable and that's about it, and you maybe don't add to that, or you say it rains there all the time, that's it, then it's not going to be good enough. Be a little prepared. You might have to be more prepared than what you have expected in your head. So, maybe talking about it's quite unpredictable. You can experience different kinds of weather in one day. It's sunny outside, and then once you walk out, after 20-30 minutes, it just starts to rain. So it's quite unpredictable. You can experience four weathers in one day. You talk a bit about it. Or if you're being asked about three reasons, talk about the three reasons of, your three major reasons of coming to the UK. You could say that while there are more than three reasons, the three most important ones are, the quality of education that UK has always had. They have a long history of welcoming international students. Second could be that they're very research, and there are a lot of research intensive universities. So research is a clear focus in UK universities. You're going there for multicultural experience. You can talk about that. So then, see, if you give one line responses versus how you explain everything, that makes a lot of difference. I would also say sometimes questions could be, what skills and knowledge will you build from the program you're going for? Now, this question is more technical and about the program. Now, if Abiral is asked about the skills and knowledge that he will build from agriculture, he will talk about crop production. He will talk about, more things around agriculture program. So in that case, I would say when you go and type BSc Agriculture at SRUC and you look at the details of the program, and in the course guide, you can see what kind of, knowledge you're building into the subject, right? Um, uh, whether you are kind of, it kind of depicts, just hold on, modules around just one second, like crop production, mechanization, specialized farming systems, things like that. So understand the question, then respond to this question. Understand the question and then respond. If the question is about what skills do you think you will need to do a part-time in the UK, don't say I will want to build skills in crop production and, you know, systems of, agriculture, irrigation, things like that. You don't need to talk basic skills. If I want to get a part time, I'm mostly going to be a salesperson, I'm mostly going to be a cashier, I might be somebody in a coffee shop who is, managing the coffee shop. So basic jobs, right? So what kind of skills will you need? You don't need crop production skills. Then you will have to, that's why I'm saying listen to the question. You will listen to skills and you will start talking. When you read the question, the question says, what kind of skills and knowledge do you think you will build from the program? Then you talk about the program and the skills and the knowledge you will build from that. When you listen to the question and it says, what kind of skills will you build? You will need when you want to do a part time in the UK. Then you will talk about basic skills like good communication skills, right? What will be another skill that you need? Teamwork and collaboration, because you'll be working in a team. You can talk about, you could also talk about being adaptable, somebody who is quick to learn. You need to be able to adapt to a good, to a new environment at your workplace, right? You need to be somebody who is quick at learning things. So then you talk about the basic skills that are required in every job. Okay, so listen to the question, then respond. And I would say look at a lot of questions and respond. Okay, now there could be a question about accommodation. So they can ask you, did you do some kind of research up when you were choosing to pick an accommodation? And what were some of the factors you were considering? Now, when you listen to the question, suddenly your mind is like, oh God, what does this mean? But you can say, if you read it properly, it basically means what research did you do? What were some of the things you were looking at? You will say that when I was looking to, when I chose the Edinburgh campus, I did research that the university does not offer any university accommodation, but there are different kind of vendors like University Living and Casita that offer accommodations in Edinburgh. I was looking at the price point. This is what the price point was looking. And I was also considering how near it is to my university, right? So in addition to all of that, I was also looking at whether I was able to get a room which had an attached bathroom in that cost, or for the attached bathroom how much difference was making with the cost. So you kind of explain that I was considering couple of things. I was considering the cost, I was considering how near it is to my campus, I was considering how what the condition of that particular accommodation. I was also considering does it have an attached loo, which is an ensuite room, ensuite room, or was I getting a shared loo? So I was considering these factors, and I did end up researching a lot around accommodation through different vendors. There were other you maybe you can give some example that I went to rightmove.co.in, that is where you could also rent out apartments. So I did a lot of research around accommodation. Listen to the question. Don't feel like, okay, I've not prepared for this. There is a question like, what are you grateful for today? Very random. Are you like, oh, what is this question like? But you have to be prepared to respond to something like that as well. That, you can just say that, I'm just grateful for the fact that I have a very loving family. And I realized that actually today, because when I woke up, I wasn't feeling quite well. I had a bit of a cough. And, both my mother and father were a little worried. My mother then made some she used one of the homemade remedies for my throat. I had some ginger tea, and after that I had some medicines. My mother prepared a very nice and light lunch for me. So just today I felt I was truly, truly grateful and blessed to have a family like mine. Now, so random. Even I, sometimes I give students a different example. I give them the example of having a pet. But all I'm trying to say it that it is a random question. Maybe you will not come with a preparation for that question, but you have to make up something and respond to it. They're also trying to understand your presence of mind. They're trying to understand how good you are in your English. Okay. Lot of questions around tuition fee. Who will be covering your tuition fee? What is your family household income like? You know, these questions are more around your finances. So please prepare on that. If you're being asked about, are there any specific companies or places you would like to work after you finish your studies? If you're being asked about, there was one more question which is very, very linked, that what is your dream job? These are future career plan responses. Okay. So if they ask you what is your dream job, or do you have any specific companies in mind that you want to work in, This is basically the question of future career plans. So say, of course, after completing my degree, my intention is that I come back to India. I do actually want to work in a specific sector, as you asked. I want to work in the IT sector. Maybe you have a different response. I'm just giving you examples. So how you expand on an answer. एक line नहीं बोलना है. We are not giving one line answers. We're expanding on that answer. We're explaining everything that, I do actually have one sector in mind, and some of the companies in that sector, I want to work in the IT industry. I want to work with good finance, big IT giants like in India, we talk about, the TCS, which is Tata Consultancy Services, or, Microsoft or Infosys and things like that, or IBM. These are the big IT companies in my country. So you can also talk about some of them if there are some companies there, and you can talk about the kind of role you are seeking. Or sometimes what's your dream job? You can say that if maybe my dream job is to become a senior IT, manager. But at the moment, it I would like apart from that, I might, after completing my study, kickstart with working with this company and this kind of job. So please make sure you explain, explain, explain. How much did the reputation of UK universities affect your decision to study? This is why UK, but a focus on university point. Only university point. So you will say, yes, the UK university, the reputation of the universities make a lot of difference. UK universities offer this, and then you talk about that. Sometimes when they're asking about why SRUC, the question is more centered around what was your reason for choosing SRUC in with respect to, the career support? Then in that case, you should only talk about careers team, that they have a very strong career support at SRUC, and that made a lot of impact in me choosing SRUC. Then you talk about only about the career services. Sometimes they'll talk about, did you also consider what were factors that you chose when you were choosing SRUC? Then it's a general question. Then you can talk about the program, the career services, everything. So read the question, then respond. Okay. Uh, Again, lot of financial based questions will be there. What do you do? What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Okay. Very random. Please don't say I like to listen to music. If you want to say I like to listen to music, explain. You can say this is one of my favorite music is, for example, Bollywood, and I really enjoy the song sung by this but Arijit Singh, and some of his songs are this. What you have done is you've not just said my hobby is that in my spare time I listen to music. You have explained it. So your English is also being assessed. You have responded to it with 5, 6, 10 lines. That is what they want to hear. Understand that. Specific questions about, see, how did university location or campus environment affect your choice? This is asking why did you choose SRUC, but only from a perspective of location and campus environment. So if you say I've chosen, yes, it made a lot of impact. Edinburgh campus is the biggest campus that they have. It's also a very good city. The university's Edinburgh campus is shared with the University of Edinburgh. A lot of facilities are very well built. You talk about it. Please research on the website and then build your answer. But if you talk about it, then that's good for you. I am looking at, just give me a second. Can you indicate your household's total yearly income? Then there are questions about how have your past teachers or lecturers inspired you or influenced your academic and career goals? Okay. Well, so what would you tell other students from other countries who want to work while they study in the UK? See, they're trying to understand what is in your head. Sometimes they ask you, are you aware of how many hours you can work in the UK and what kind of part-time opportunities you can look at? So they are asking you specific questions as well. You can say, yes, I'm very well aware that as a student, I'm only allowed to work for 20 hours per week in the UK. And if during summers, I can work full time, which is 40 hours. And then you explain on it a bit. So understand, they are trying to really understand. There will be one final question. If you've received a visa rejection, please talk about it. How will you end up making your connections? to build your career. So you can talk about networking events, you can talk about registering with the career services at SRUC, building a good connection with your professors who can recommend you into jobs. So 3-4 ways of how you can keep yourself, build your contacts to make your career better in the UK. So try to think a little, try to also prepare a lot. I would say there are a lot of questions around what if the currency exchange rates change and how is that going to impact your budget. So you can say a bit of fluctuation is expected, and that is why I'm already holding a loan of these many £1,000. Or if you have your own funds, then you can say I already hold those many funds. In addition to that, if the fluctuation happens, then my family has a strong financial background. My father's making this much money yearly. My mother's also, working lady, and this is the kind of money she's making. And based on that, you know, this is what we're looking at. So if there is some issue also, my parents will be able to support me. Okay. So long story short, these are 10, 15, 20 questions we have discussed today. There will be more than this. There will be questions you will suddenly be like, how do I respond to it? But please don't panic. Look at it and then easily think for a second and then respond to the question. Okay. So that is something that I just wanted to let everybody know. Uh, Prepare well. I have shared a bank of questionnaires with Rekha for you all to prepare. Especially students who don't have an English condition, please go and give your interview. Meanwhile, other students, please try to meet your English condition as early as possible. You're sitting by the deadline. Don't waste your time. I do not know why you are looking at it very casually. Okay. Uh, but please start taking that in your mind that, there are deadlines approaching for your interviews, for meeting your conditions, and for payment. So please keep that in mind. If you have cleared the interview and paid, but you've not met your English condition, still you will suffer. So please try to do that. Please keep that in mind. And please work hard to meet your conditions. By the end of, I would say by the end of June, you should have met your conditions and you should be giving your interviews. Please try to do that. My other advice is that if Oxford ELLT is not giving results out and taking their own sweet time and people are getting stuck, please don't give that exam. Either take the IELTS or PT, because otherwise it's going to be a problem. You won't have your results, you won't be able to meet your English condition. So I'm just letting you know that there is clearly Oxford ELLT is having some trouble with giving or issuing the final, results of the English test. Anything else, John, that I can help you with? I hope this was helpful.
Thank you, Gitika. That was very, very helpful. I think there are no more questions on the chat box. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching us from the live from Facebook and YouTube channel as well. And lastly, congratulations to all the offer holders from SRUC. As Gitika has already advised you, do as much practice for your interview and the questions he has introduced to you. And there are other possible questions as well. You can meet us. We can help you on that. So thank you, Gitika. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for this webinar. Bye
I
bye.
Thank you. Just wanted to respond to
Okay.
Sagar quickly. Can I get involved in a paid internship or research? Sagar, your fourth year is essentially you doing research on the area subject matter you want to do your research on. It's a part of your curriculum. So I don't think you're going to make money out of it. In addition to that, if you end up taking some other project, maybe, and you're hired by a company to do it, that's different, because then you're working for some company to do it, but not as a part of your own curriculum. That's a part of your curriculum. So, no. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me patiently. Take care. Bye bye.